Today I have Eugene Berezin. And Eugene, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
My name is Eugene Berezin. I'm a career and business coach in tech, and I am also senior iOS developer. I help software developers, QA engineers, other professionals in tech maximize their earning potential, establish executive presence, and basically show up as leaders like in the industry. It's kind of short answer.
How did you start with that? Did you go to school in something related to IT?
No, my background is in clinical psychology, and before joining tech, I was a therapist. And at some point, I realized that what I was doing in behavioral health couldn't really bring a lot of or enough finances to support my family. So I started investigating like different revenues, and I wasn't really actively investigating anything. I was just watching YouTube videos, like absolutely random. And somebody was talking about QA testing and career in tech as a QA engineer, and it sounded um, quite a path for me and relatively easy. So I started looking more into it, and I went to a boot camp for QA engineers and got my first job like literally within 3 months after starting my boot camp, and here I'm now, like coach and iOS developer. Yeah, like that's kind of how my journey started.
Was there anything from your previous career that do you think helped you with picking up a career in IT?
Yes, I think problem solving skills are definitely the key because even as a clinician, right? When people come to you, you gotta assess the situation, you gotta assess your client or your patient, and you have to come up with a solution really, really quickly. And your solution, hopefully, it is the right solution. Hopefully, it's the right course of treatment with tech industry. We have a little bit more leeway, so we say fail forward, so we have that luxury. But that problem solving skill like definitely helped me in tech industry. And needless to say, working with people, understanding human psychology, understanding how people operate, like helps me really be a better coach, because it's not just teaching people how to do the things, like how to show up online, how to structure your content, how to and what post when, but also understand how to overcome anxiety, how to overcome imposter syndrome, how to overcome limiting beliefs. And at some point, you gotta work on people on totally psychological level, because they have the skills and they know exactly what to do, but there are a lot of mental blockers that a lot of people are experiencing.
So for some time, then you were working as a QA developer, and then you also started doing development, like starting to do actual iOS development yourself. What led you to make that transition from QA to actual development?
Yeah, well, I think it is my awareness that what is available to me in iOS development. Because what happened when I started, I live in Tampa, Florida, and back in Tampa, we didn't have a lot at a time. We didn't have a lot of mobile opportunities, and I decided to move to Seattle. And why? Because why not? And it was not necessarily for the job or for better opportunities. It literally like, oh, Seattle, why not? So I started looking for jobs, and I landed my opportunity in Seattle as a mobile test engineer, and it was on iOS team. And then my second opportunity also came through related to mobile team, but narrowed down to iOS development and iOS testing. They kind of wanted me to do all, but niching down was my thing, so I niched down on iOS, and delivering test automation. And at some point, I had a pivotal moment in my career when I um, landed another job outside of mobile and absolutely hated it. I quit my job literally within 2 months. So after 2 months, I said I quit. Nothing works. Like I don't want to be here, and I literally came back to my previous team. And at that point, I decided to be really, really serious about mobile development. And also, I was playing around with mobile apps on the side. I was helping out, my friends in in their businesses with their mobile apps. But at that point, I said, like, no, like this is path forward, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm in the position where I basically hate my job. So that's kind of what motivated me to move forward with mobile development.
You're not only doing development, but you're also helping other developers. Can you tell me more about how that transition came about? What kind of inspire you to go in that route?
Yeah. So basically, when I started, right, I was mentoring other QA engineers, other developers, how to how to land a job, how to negotiate salaries, how to be visible in workspace, and basically how to land better opportunities. And I think this year, at the beginning of this year, I was really thinking about how I can expand on my gifts that I can bring to the table, because I'm like former therapist and I help a lot of people. Because literally not too long ago, when it was, I think, a couple of months prior, maybe 3 months prior, I helped a couple of technical recruiters like getting into industry and getting jobs. And somebody said, like, Eugene, you should totally charge for that. It should not be free, because people make a lot of money and land really successful careers. So you, you should think about it. And in 2023, coaching like that came in mind. And after researching and many trial and errors, I came about smart women in business coaching and in business. And that kind of put me together, that, oh, like I actually have valuable skill. I actually can help other people achieve great success. And and it's literally right there, and it's something that I've been doing all along. So I don't like, it's not new to me. So this is how my coaching program was born.
What have been some challenges in taking that route?
Yeah, well, I think it will be relatable to a lot of people who would like to transition from an employee to entrepreneur. Because when you're an employee, you have to sell yourself, you have to sell your skills to a company, which is quite honestly easier in a way to do. But when you are entrepreneur, no matter if you do freelancing or coaching or run service-based education-based services, then you have to face with totally different challenges. For example, how do you lead your customers through customer journey? When you go to business world, a lot of people would advertise, oh, we can make you more leads, we can make you more leads. But the leads are not the problem. I like, you can have all the leads and it's fairly easy to do, but what do you do with those leads? How do you lead those leads to your business, and how do you influence the buying decision? So that were the challenges: finding my voice, articulating my value. Because like, I know how to articulate my value as a senior iOS developer, and I've done it, but I've never articulated my value as a career business coach, and it's a totally different skill set. So this is something that I had to learn, and then I had to invest in myself, and I had to invest in other coaching programs to achieve that success.
What would you say is something that sets you apart? It's unique to you to serve developers in achieving their goals.
I think what sets me apart, at least on the larger spectrum of career coaches and business coaches, that I walked the walk that I am leading my clients to. So I increase my salaries like crazy. I find my profitable niche. I transition from resistance, for example, resistance of promotion, right? Because at some point you will get resistance when you're trying to get promoted and how to go about it, and there are many ways. So I know I know the path, I know the walk, and I am closely familiar with tech industry, and also the knowledge that I acquire as an entrepreneur, which is absolutely great, also come in handy because my recent interview, right? It went totally in a different route than it normally would because communication skills, which a lot of developers like struggle with, but when you bring those superpowers together, that really sets you apart, I think.
What would you say to somebody who maybe is thinking about taking this path of leaving their development, working for somebody and trying to go on their own? What are some things, tips, or things that they should consider, do you think?
You won't make it alone, so hire a coach, hire a mentor. But before you hire a mentor, figure out what problem you want to solve and in which way you can solve it. Because in tech, you have a highly valuable skill, right? Either in corporate or in your entrepreneurial journey. So, and there's so many ways you can take that gift. For example, iOS development. I could have wrapped it in a digital course for iOS developers. I could have wrapped it in a boot camp, more or less, like for people who want to become iOS developers. I could have I could have gone freelancing route, right? But what is your zone of genius? What are you really good at? And another, like, this is the first step. And second step, how do you what is your unique value proposition, and how do you tie it to the price amount that will allow you to work with fewer customers for a higher cost? So you don't have to work for 24/7, so you can have limited amount of customers for higher costs, so to make your business profitable and not overbearing for you.
Yeah, I see a lot of people make that mistake, so that's a good tip. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No matter where you are taking your journey next, right? I think it is important to focus on like what you're good at. And so it's important to be aware of your gaps and your weaknesses and what could be better. But as you're progressing your career journey, especially when you are at that very high mid-level senior role, right? Probably going back and learning algorithms and data structures is probably not the smartest way to cover your gaps, but like you already have your zone of genius. You already know what you're good at. So focus on that. And no matter if you're taking like a corporate route or entrepreneurial route, or both, because we can't depend on corporate America 100% anymore. So focus on what you're good at, and that will bring you monetary success. That will bring you also personal satisfaction as well.
Now, how can people reach you?
The easiest way to get in touch with me is to connect with me on LinkedIn. I am Eugene Berezin on LinkedIn, so definitely follow and give me a follow, and better yet, connect. I want time to time to go through my followers and connect back with them, but the easiest way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. Just send me a connect request. Send me a short note that, hey, I saw you on the interview. I would like to connect, and I will connect with you.
Thank you so much, Eugene, for taking time out of your day to let us take a peek into what you do and how you're helping developers.
Of course, thank you for having me.